Hi, love bunnies. I hope you guys are all doing so well. In today's video, we are going to be recreating the look that I had on in my Inside the Beauty Haus kit series, episode 3. So we are going to start with our eyebrows. We're just going to brush them up, make sure we kind of shape them a little bit. And then now we're going to fill them in, starting from the bottom. And we're pretty much going to go to the curve, and then we're just going to fill that in. Now we are just going to fill in the top part of our brows, starting a little bit behind the front part of our brows. We're going to just do light flicks in our brows, making sure that we connect it from the arch of our brow to the tail end of our eyebrows. So with some editing magic, we have both of our brows on. Now we're just gonna fill in the front of our brows with some powder with a light flicking motion from the powder in the front of our brows, through the brows, and towards the end of our brows, creating a nice ombre gradient effect so it could look a lot more natural and not harsh. Now we are going in with our E.L.F. Wow Brow Gel Tint. This stuff isn't necessary, but I like to add a little bit more oomph to my eyebrows. But also it allows the brow to stay in place all day while still adding a little bit of tint and more natural look to our brows. Now we're going in with our face primer from Dr. Brandt. We're just going to add a few dots on the face, and then we're just going to work it into our skin. We already have our skin moisturized, so now we're just prepping it with this primer. So now that our foundation can sit and lay properly onto the skin. Now we are going in with our 3 different foundations. I know, don't judge. We're just going to put some dots all over our face, evenly, of course, amongst the 3 foundations. Then we are now spraying our face with our hydration and toner mist from Red Dragon. We're now just going to buff our foundations into the skin. We're going to buff it in small circular motions, making sure it covers the entire face and making sure it's blending out all the colors evenly to get our actual skin tone color that we need. So we are just working the foundation into our skin, buffing it in, getting our nose area between our eyebrows. Because of our brush shape, we have to flip the brush a little bit. Make sure we're getting our nose area a little bit over the eyes. Because we're going to do a simple look today, we're going to just put it all over our eyelids, kind of as a little bit of a base. Then we're just going to blend out the forehead to make sure now everything is unison. So we just went in and added a little bit more of our darker foundation because it was looking a little bit light. So we added a little bit more of the darker one, which had like a yellowish orangey undertone, which made it warm it up a little bit more. So we're just going to buff that into the skin a little bit more so we could get the shade that we are comfortable with. Now we're just going to use our damp beauty blender on the flat side, and we're just going to bounce it all over the face so that it can now blend seamlessly and give it more of an airbrush look. Now taking our angled eyeliner brush with a little bit of the darker foundation, we are just going to curve underneath our eyebrows pretty much to clean it up so it looks even more seamless and neater at the bottom when we apply our actual eyeshadows. So we just want a clean base so it looks like our brows are freshly done. So now we're just going to do the other side as well. Pretty much doing the exact same thing using that same brush, same darker foundation, and we're just going to clean up underneath the brow so it looks more sharp and defined for when we apply our eyeshadow. So we are just using our finger just to blend out that line so it's even more seamlessly on our eyebrow area. So now we are taking some eyeshadow primer from the brand Milani in Nude, and we're going to put that all over our eyelids, and that's going to be our base. So it's going to secure even more staying power with the foundation that we put up there, and now also the eyeshadow primer that we are putting onto our eyes. So now in our palette, we are going to go in with a lighter shade right underneath the arch of our brow because we want it to have a nice highlighted natural look. And also we want it to be more lifted in our brown area. So now we are going to take our transition shade and just buff it into our crease area, bring it up to the brows a little bit. So we're going to do the same exact thing on the other eye. Again, it's going to be like a soft, just a real soft, I guess, semi-smoky look, you can say. So we're just going to use a soft color to blend into our crease. Take it up to the brow bone so it cleans up that lighter shade a little bit. Now we are going in with our NYX cream eyeshadow in white. We're going to set that as a base for the lighter color that we are going to use all over our lid. So it's just a white shade, and it's going to ensure that the light color that we're going to put on top, it adheres to a lot better and it's able to pop once we do apply it onto the lid. So now we are doing the exact same thing on the other eye, applying that NYX Jumbo eyeshadow pencil in white all over that lid. And so now we are going back into the crease just to deepen it a little bit more. Just going to double check, make sure it's looking good. And we're just going to deepen it a little bit more. So it's also going to help for the main lid color to pop. So we just want to brush it, blend it in properly, so that is a smooth transition. And again, we're going to do it to the other eye as well. Now we're going in with a deeper shade, and we're going to place it just right at the corner of our eyelids, just at the inner corner, just to deepen it up a little bit, just to add some depth. So we're going to do it on each side. We're going to place it, add a little bit more, and then we are going to just blend it out a little bit, making it sweep out, pulling it out, as well as a little bit sweeping motion up, bringing it to meet the other shadow, the crease shadow. Now we're going in with our all over lid color, which is a soft, natural, neutral, kind of cool tone shimmer shade. Not too sparkly, but just a little bit of a shimmer. So we're just going to place that all over the lid where we had the white cream eyeshadow base before. So we're just going to add it, make it pop. Now going in with concealer, I am using the LA Girl Pro Concealer just a little bit, as well as I am going in with my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, just adding a few dabs. Then also adding some contour to the face, so on the forehead and also on the cheekbone area. A little cool tone color, then also mixing with a warm tone color. Going in with my ring finger, I'm just dabbing the concealer underneath the eye. Is going to help to melt it a little bit better into the skin, but also add a little bit more coverage before we go in and blend it out with our brush. So I'm going with both sides with the ring finger, gonna dab it underneath both eyes, get a little bit more of a full coverage look. Then now we are gonna utilize our brush, just a concealer fluffy brush, just dabbing it and pressing it a little bit more so it doesn't pick up the foundation or any other product underneath. I'm just going to dab it, make sure it blends out seamlessly. So for a little bit more of coverage, I'm going to go back in with the LA Girl Pro Concealer just for a little bit more brightness under the eye. Then I'm going to use my damp beauty blender, the pointed part of it, and then just blend it and buff it out so it could give a little bit more coverage and brightness. Now we are moving on to the contour. So I am taking a short, dense brush from Real Techniques. We're just buffing out the contour in our forehead. Make sure we're blending it. So going to the hairline, blending it nicely onto the forehead. And just the perimeter of the face just to bring back a little bit of warmth. And also we're going to take it on the cheekbone. Now this color is a little bit more on the cool tone side. I didn't really use the other one. But again, we're just gonna buff it into the skin just to create more of a contour to the cheekbones. And we are doing the same exact thing on the other side, just buffing in the contour into the, not necessarily the hollows of the cheeks, but right above the hollows of the cheeks. We're gonna just blend it, bring it into the hairline, as well as around the perimeter of the face, again to give a sculpted, warm vibe on the face. On to the powder bronzer. Now I'm going in with my powder bronzer palette. We're going to go in both the shades, the medium and the cool, and we're just warming up the forehead, buffing it in into the hairline, tapping off a little bit extra on our hands, and then buffing around the forehead, just adding a little bit more depth, a little bit more color back into the face. So again, dabbing it a little bit off in our hands and going into the hairline. That is more of a seamless blend. Then we are going to take it down to the contours of our cheeks to warm up the cheeks again, to warm up the skin, bring back more warmth. And we are going to do the same exact thing on the other side of the face. We're going to go around the temple and again, of course, on the cheekbone area just to bring back the warmth into the skin. And we're going to do it in a sweeping up motion so it doesn't drag the face down. This is going to keep the face nice and lifted. Now we are moving on to our nose. We are going to take the same color that we use for the cheeks and around the perimeter, the warm and cool shade, and we are going to just bring the color down each side of our nose just to contour the nose, bring it out a little bit more, let it stand out. So also brings back dimension to the face because of all the powders and the foundation. So this is bringing back a dimension to the face with the nose, so it's not just flat anymore. So just going to take that color, sweep it down the side, but also bring it up to the front of the brows. So it's more of a natural shadow that we get. It is time for blush. So I'm going in with two blush shades, just mixing them together. And then we are just going to place it right close to the contour that we placed, just so it could blend seamlessly. So it's not a harsh line between the contour and the blush. So we're just going to check, make sure it looks good. Make sure it's blended well. So again, we're going to take it the apples of our cheeks and just bring it up so it meets beautifully and seamlessly with our contour. Now we're going to go in on a smaller, fluffier brush, and we're going to put some highlight just so it brings back a pop, and now add dimension with, again, a nice pop of a highlight. So we're going to put that on the apples of our cheeks and bring it up a little bit to the highest point of our cheekbones. Again, just adding some more shimmer and dimension to the face. We are now going to bring it down the nose. To make it stand out a little bit more, we're going to do it down the bridge of the nose and a little bit at the tip of our nose. So now we are just going to take some of our loose setting powder from Maybelline Fit Me, and we're just going to clean up where the bronzer is, just so it's more sharp and it just looks better on the face, so it doesn't look like it's sloppy, I guess you could say. So we're just going to clean it up so it's more sharp and crisp of a contour on our cheekbones. Not too much. We're just going to keep it towards the back of the face. We're not going to really drag it towards the front, because keeping it towards the back of the face gonna give it more of a natural contoured look. Now we are gonna take the same shades, just a little bit of a brown, and we're gonna use a fluffy brush and put it underneath our waterline just to make the eyes pop a little bit more. So again, this shade is like a warm brown, just so it's not nothing deep, because we don't want to really make it dark like a smoky, but we want to add a little bit of depth back to the eyes, bring back a little bit more life to the eyes again. So we're just going to sweep that back and forth motion. Then we're going to take a black cream eyeliner from Wet n Wild, and we're going to tightline that across the top of our waterline, just so we could add a little bit of depth to the eye, but not make it too harsh. So we're also going to add some bottom mascara, just so those bottom lashes could pop, because we are going to add lashes. So we just want the bottom lashes to pop just a little bit to add more dimension now to the eyes. So we're adding a little bit of mascara to the top lashes, just so that when we put our false lashes on, it adheres a little bit better. So we are going in with some soft, fluffy, natural lashes, and we're going to put them on. Because this is not a heavy, smoky eye, we wanted a lash that still was soft, fluttery, and natural, still a little bit flirty, just to make the eyes pop a little bit more, and so that it wouldn't weigh the eyes down, because again, this is not a smoky eye, this is more of a natural eyeshadow look that we went for today. Onto the lips, we are going in with the lip gloss from NYX Butter Gloss in Maybelline, just to keep it a nice neutral color. We don't want nothing too crazy, because again, we do have a cool tone eyeshadows on our lids, so we want to keep the lips also kind of nudie and cool toned as well. Now that's done, we are gonna set everything again, going back in with the Dragon's Blood Hydrating Mist and Toner. And this is the final look. Okay, love bunnies, this is the completed look that I had on in my Inside the Beauty Haus kit series episode 3. If you did not go and watch it yet, make sure you check it out. I will have the link in the description box below. I hope that you had an amazing time with me. I hope that you enjoyed sharing this moment and seeing how I did the look. I know it was different from my usual talking through, but Sometimes you gotta switch it up. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to share a moment with me. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, share it, as well as have your post notifications on. Thank you so much. Enjoy the day or night wherever you are. And never forget, the foundation of beauty starts from within. Makeup is just the cherry on top. I love you guys so much, and thank you. Until next time. Mwah.